Welcome to Look Smarter Than You Are with Oracle EPM Cloud. Today we will be talking about using batch scripts with EPM Automate. We will demonstrate the basics of using batch scripts for executing EPM Automate commands. We will show examples for the commands upgrade and encrypt. There are many other EPM Automate commands that can be called from batch scripts. Dozens for planning alone, as well as other commands for different EPM cloud business processes. This session is not intended to be about comprehensive batch script coding, only how some coding can be used for EPM Automate. Here's a quick view of all the EPM Automate commands for planning. Other commands are available for Oracle EPM business processes like financial close and consolidation, tax reporting, and profitability and cost management. This list is added to frequently. See the link at the end of this presentation for EPM Automate documentation. If not already installed, download EPM Automate from EPM Planning Cloud and install on local computer or server. EPM Automate must be installed on the machine that launches the batch script. To install from Planning, go to Downloads and download the appropriate file of EPM Automate. Install on local computer or server. So why should we use batch scripts to run EPM Automate? Well, while EPM Automate can be run from its own command prompt, it is easier and more efficient to execute the commands from a batch script. This is especially true for end users. Scripts can be scheduled as well. And with some additional coding, scripts can create log files of the processes that were executed, as well as move files around different folders and directories on different computers. So let's get started. Our first script is for encrypting a password. It is recommended to use encrypted passwords in batch scripts so as to not have an identifiable password exposed. Open a text editor like Notepad++. If available, select Batch Language. This makes it easier to read the coding. Begin the batch script by setting up variables to reference the EPM environment and the password to be encrypted. Using variables makes it easier to reuse the script for other commands and to update the EPM environment references so the script can be used with other subscriptions. Note the comments we have added as well. Starting a line with REM makes the line a command for reference purposes. Lines that begin with set create the variables. The password directory has to be accessible from the location that EPM Automate is operating. The password file name has to be appended with EPW. Next, add the EPM Automate login command. The line begins with call. This launches EPM Automate to execute the command. Use the variables for login. The variables are placed within percent characters. Next, add the EPM Automate Encrypt command. Use the variables for password, key, and file paths. Be sure to add a backslash between the variables for password directory and password file. Now let's add the EPM Automate Logout command. A pause is also added so you can see the status of the batch before the command window closes. End the script with exit. Save the file as type batch, which will be appended with .bat. It must be saved on the same computer or server where EPM Automate is installed. The batch script is now ready to launch. Be sure the current password to be encrypted is in the variable. Launch the script by opening from where it is saved. A command prompt window opens and shows the progress of EPM Automate. Encryption was successful. Now that an encrypted password has been created, it can be referenced in other scripts for EPM Automate. Create a password variable in other scripts and reference the file path and name of the encrypted password. This also makes it easier when the password is updated. The scripts don't need to be updated because they reference a file path. Continuing on, remember when we ran the script for encrypting the password? There was a note that a new version of EPM Automate was available. So let's create a script with EPM Automate Upgrade command. Oracle makes available new versions of EPM Automate almost monthly, and it is recommended to use the most recent version. Like we did with our first script, open a text editor like Notepad++. If available, select batch language because it will be easier to read the coding. Like we did with our first script, begin the batch script by setting up variables to reference the EPM environment. Remember, using the variables makes it easier to reuse the script for other commands and to update the EPM environment references so the script can be used with other subscriptions. The password file path has to be accessible from the location that EPM Automate is operating. The password file name has to be appended with EPW. Next, add the EPM Automate login command. Again, use the variables for the login. Add the EPM Automate upgrade command. Adding pause will cause the script to pause and prompt to continue. This allows you to see if the command was successful. Add the EPM Automate Logout command, and then end the script with exit. Save the file as type batch. It must be saved on the same computer or server where EPM Automate is installed. The batch script is now ready to launch. Launch the script by opening it from where it is saved. A command prompt window opens and shows the progress of EPM Automate. The upgrade was successful. Now we can use the upgrade script as a starting point for creating other scripts with different commands. A script can have multiple commands. For example, we can create a script to run a data export job in planning and download the file. The export job needs to have been previously created in planning. We can see that the export job ran successfully and the file downloaded. The file will download to a location where the script was launched. Other batch script coding can move the file elsewhere, but we're not going to get into that type of coding in this session. In summary, EPM Automate can be launched with batch scripts. This makes the use of EPM Automate more efficient. The scripts can be reused repeatedly and copied for use with different EPM Automate commands. The scripts can be scheduled to run as well, thereby automating common tasks. There are commands to export and import metadata and data, manage users, manage the application, and much, much more. Documentation for EPM Automate and a listing of all the available commands can be found at the link provided. There is also a link to a Play It Forward video on using EPM Automate for migrating snapshots between environments. We hope you have found this information valuable. Thank you.